Hello, and welcome to another episode of the D Shift podcast from Podapalooza. And I have to say, I am just absolutely delighted to introduce my next guest. Donna Fairhurst has been on the Podapalooza podcast with me before, and she is a phenomenal individual. I want to read a little bit about Donna to you so that you get an idea of the caliber of individual that we're going to be talking to here. Challenges refine you or define you. Surviving and thriving, a journey through blindness, polio, divorce, bankruptcy, and multiple yo-yo to God near-death experiences empowers Donna Fairhurst to live and teach zero to clarity principles. So that is the esteemed guest we have here, Donna. I am so happy to have you.
Oh, thank you, Marty. I'm so excited to be back here with you. You're such a joyous light and a beautiful soul. I just love it.
Well, thank you. That is so kind of you. Now we're going to compliment each other for the next 20 minutes.
Absolutely. Let's go round and round.
Donna, tell us a little bit about your background and what brought you to the space that you're in now and the kind of coaching you do.
Well, it wasn't a lightning story to bring me to here. It was a slow progression over 65 years. I didn't move into this sphere of coaching and guiding until I was 65. And then only because my husband knew I didn't want to be a housewife. I'd left the industry we were in, and he was still working. And he said, "Why don't you do what you were born to do? Come out of the closet, be the spiritual advisor and teacher and guide that you've always been, and let people know the light you shine so they can shine theirs." And it took me another year and a half or so to kind of like really, I took a toe out of the closet and then an elbow, and then I stuck my nose out the door. And people, when something is ready for your life, for your soul journey, everything falls into place, and everything seamlessly fell into place. So I've been coaching for 7 years now, and it's my passion. It's my life. I love it. I love helping women. And it doesn't matter what the transition is. I actually had a client phone up and say, "I have absolutely nothing wrong with me. I am not divorced. My marriage isn't a wreck. My job is great. My kids are wonderful. My husband's amazing. I just want to be with you for a while." And so we ended up like really exploring healing modalities that she could go and easily learn and then use with her family and her friends. So it's just about listening. Where are you in your life, and how can I help you? How may I serve?
Yeah.
And when you show up from that space, they move into that space and miracles happen.
Absolutely. And don't you find, well, I shouldn't say that. That's a leading question. I find the older I get, the more I don't really care what other people think. The more I just want to do, I just want to do the purpose, like what I'm supposed to do. And it doesn't matter if it's not what everybody else thinks I should be doing at my age. And, it's what I want to do. And that's what's important.
That's a leading word, purpose, because so many of the women that I work with, and even a few brave men, think that I don't know what my purpose is. I can't find my purpose. I don't know what I'm here to do, or this isn't working and that isn't working, and I don't know what to do next. So what's my purpose? And they're really disappointed with my answer. My answer is, your purpose is to be on purpose, with purpose, purposely, wherever you are, whoever you're with, whatever is happening, every time, anytime. It's not about what you're doing. It's about what you bring to what you're doing. And if you're bringing your soul and your love and your joy to what you're doing, and you're not feeling the soul and the love and the joy, you're not meant to be there. Back up, reevaluate, take a step. What makes you feel juicy? Imagine yourself as this giant orange just being rolled around in spirit's hand. And as it's rolling, it's getting softer and softer, and the juice is getting more and more liquid inside the orange. You cut it in half, you hold it up, and you pour it into your mouth. And there's so much juice because you've been massaging that orange for so long that you get twice the juice that you ever got.
Yeah.
And then taste it. Life is for tasting. It's for exploring. It's for integrating in healthy ways. And that's kind of what I do. And each client is different. They all have different problems. I've been through have so much experience in my life with so many different things that I can relate to anyone in one way or another. And then I lean into people's spiritual DNA, just like we have physical DNA that, tells our tribal lineages and everything that we've come from on the physical plane. We have spiritual DNA. And I like to break that down into the energy of the word. When we say DNA, what it means to have spiritual DNA is do now allow. Do you now allow yourself to experience the purpose of leaning into soul? Your soul really doesn't care what you're doing or where you are or who you're with. Your soul cares, what are you learning about where you are, who you're with, and what you're doing? And what are you going to take with those learnings, those messages? What are you going to do with them? What are you going to create? Because just like the creator we come from, we were born to be creators in our own life and to learn and share and live from what we create. So good, bad, or indifferent, you can get stuck in an abusive marriage and you can blame it all on the partner that's abusing you. Or you can say, what am I learning here about the power of my will to choose? You have the power of choice. You have the power of now. You're either now here or you're nowhere. You're either if you're in nowhere, you're stuck in the past or you're dreaming about the future. Now is where your choice point, your heart point, your love point, your joy point, even your sad point, that's where it is. Deal with it.
Yeah, and that's such a powerful message. And I think, sometimes we get on these paths in life. For me, it was you had to go to college, you had to go to university, you had to get the degree, you had to get the job, you had to get the husband, had to buy the house, had to have kids. That's where I hit the brick right there because I did not have children. Then I went through a divorce. So, there's all these kind of expectations and we carry them like bricks on our body. And it gets so heavy that when you finally let them down and go, I'm going to be what I want to be, it is that uplifting experience, isn't it?
Well, I say that's your authenticity, right? Showing up as authentically you. I know in my generation, we were taught to do a lot of things and be a lot of things for other people. And somewhere along the line, many of us have lost our beingness to be here, clear, and with ourselves, and to define our being. You're either a human doing or a human being. If you are doing and doing and doing, you end up with a big expanding pile of doo-doo. If you're being, regardless of whether the experience is good, bad, or indifferent, if you're showing up as the willing student of life, the doors open. The heavens answer. Your God squad checks in with you on a regular basis. And you have to remember to ask them.
Yeah. Yeah. Every time that I see you and I hear you speak, I think of that, The Alchemist book.
Oh,
I just recently just read it again. And I don't know, for some, that whole, the universe, what is it? All the universe conspires to bring things to you. If you're doing what you're aligned to do, it happens.
absolutely. We're a part of the blanket of infinite unity. Every single soul, every body on this planet and any other planet is a thread in that blanket. If we pull or pick at the thread, we are pulling or picking at the field of infinite unity. And that has ramifications energetically for the entire field. So the degree to which we show up and keep our thread strong and honor our place and our purpose and be with that, the more powerful the field gets, the more
Yeah.
powerful we are. And I don't mean power in a threatening way. I mean the power of love. Because really, in the field of infinite unity, from a soul perspective, all there is love. So if you're living from a place of all there is love in your own life, and you show up as love, regardless of what is coming at you, there is always a way through. And if you can't be love, you can be grace. That's your get out of jail free card, right? There's a lot of times you don't feel the love for a person, place, or situation. You can still say, okay, dear God, I'm not feeling the love. What would grace do now? Like the first question is, what would love do now? Second question is, what would grace do now? And sometimes it's get the hell out of here.
Right. Yeah. And
Right?
that's okay too. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that, so tell me how this ties in, and maybe it doesn't. So if I'm off base, let me know. Where does this tie in with like what people are talking about a lot now is being intuitive and really understanding what you're supposed to be doing with your life? Like how does the soul work and the intuition and the energy fields? Is there like is this all one thing, or are these separate things, Donna? I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
There are multiple dimensions within the field, and there are multiple places to be within the field. We choose at the soul level every experience that we have, good, bad, or indifferent. At the soul level, we have chosen that as a way to grow our soul. Now, here's the deal. The soul doesn't care whether you have a roof over your head. The soul doesn't care whether you have a car or a big bank account. The soul doesn't care what style or designer or not you're wearing. The soul cares about what you're learning from the path that you're walking. That is what expands the soul on the human plane. You take that from this life to the afterlife. You examine it all. You get with your God squad and your team over there, just like we do team talk here, and you podcast with a few of them and say, okay, this is what I learned. This is where I feel that I may have failed or there was more to learn. And then you make a plan for your next life. It's a continuum. Our soul never dies. No soul ever dies. It's a permanent, eternal fixture in the universe. And you are like an individual star in the universe. And, God forbid, I don't think you'll ever burn out. That's my experience of it.
Yeah, wow. And so if you don't mind, I know that you have had a couple of near-death experiences, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you be comfortable enough talking a little bit about that as that kind of relates to this, what we've been talking about here with the soul?
Yeah, absolutely. It's my favorite thing to talk about. It's the reason why I'm coaching. It's the reason why I have the principles that I teach from the Zero to Clarity principles. The first near-death experience, I don't remember. I was only 1 year old. I died in a high fever from polio in a hospital. And later on, and being one, I didn't have a lot of language, right? And so I had these experiences that I carried through, visions that I saw, angels that were with me, guides and guardians that were with me. And to me, they were just more family because I had no way to process it. I was also a child, so I had a clear field, right? I was starting close to ground zero. So there was no way for me to judge or to be in judgment about anything that showed up in my life. As I got older and I started expressing this, in my kindergarten years and then in through elementary school and that with my family and friends, they became very concerned. They actually thought I was a little doolally, right? At some point, I was even taken to a child psychiatrist to see, like what was going on with me. And he would say, there's nothing wrong with her. She's very intelligent and she just has a way of processing that's different than you. So I was the different one. And that caused me, and I was nearly blind. I was 12 before I got full sight. I couldn't see the big E on the chart. If you were 4 feet away from me, you were just a blur of light and color to me. And
Wow.
so when I finally got sighted and I saw the way the world was, I was in shock for about 4 years, just, processing everything that I had missed on that plane.
Right.
And yet there was a part of me that was always longing for where I'd been. there was a part of me that wanted that purity, that color, that life, that joy, that love, that was just all encompassing. Then, as I moved through that, I got really busy living life.
Sure.
And living life made me want to know more, be more, see more, do more. And so I did it all. And through that, I had 3 divorces. I had 2 divorces and bankruptcy and, executive joys, executive triumphs, executive tragedies. And then I met my third husband, and life just stopped in the most beautiful way. Everything came into focus. It was that's a story, a love story beyond love in itself. And I actually, with him, I went to work and became a millwright and a machinist. I went into his apprenticeship program and apprentice, and I was welding and machining and millwrighting, and had the boots and the hat and the gloves and the blues on. It was great. And then we sold our company, and suddenly I didn't have a job and I didn't know what to do. And that's when he said, do what you were born to do.
Yeah.
Coach, tell the people your stories. Tell the people how they can access this energy, how they can be this energy. I see you do it silently for everybody around you. Because, of course, I told him the whole truth. The first person I ever did tell the whole truth about my journey.
Right.
And he was so supported. And it took me about a year, and yet I did it. And as soon as I opened that door, the joy came flooding in. I was in my zone. Really, every job I ever had, I thought I was in my zone. It was a thought. It wasn't a state of being. I was doing those jobs, doing and doing and doing. And a lot of it brought me great things, and a lot of it brought me bad things, or what we would judge as bad. And when I came into this, it was suddenly like, this is my skin. This is where I belong. And as soon as I acknowledged that and accepted that for myself, then all these little doors started opening and brought me to beautiful people like you that are willing to spread the word. And slowly, 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 it's nothing I even actually physically looked for. It just happened.
Right.
So, now I'm in that space where, do I have to do all of these do things to make more happen, or do I just coast along and enjoy the journey that I have?
Yeah, and that is such a powerful message. I think what you just said is just stop doing and be. Because we do, we think that like I said earlier, we think that the specific degree is what we need, and then we'll be happy. And we think that the big houses and the new partner and all of these things, that when we get them, we're happy for a while, but then the happiness fades really fast. But your happiness doesn't fade.
Look, I guarantee if anybody did a really honest review, they could remember and relate ad nauseum every terrible thing that ever happened to them. They could live in their past forever. And yet, if you ask them to tell you every joyful, life-affirming, giving, loving, graceful moment they'd had in their life, they could start naming off a few, and then they go, oh, I don't remember as many of the good things as I did the bad things. So cycle back, turn that knob, open a different door, look into the light that's inside of you. You are a light. In fact, you have multiple lights inside of you. And they're also in your hands and the palms of your feet. You're walking on them. You're shaking hands with them. Your light, your joy, your colors turn the corner before you do. And anybody around that corner feels you before they see you. So live from that.
And it's, that's definitely true what you're saying, because there's just those people that you meet and you just know that is a person that you want to know more, you want to get to know more. And there's also people you meet that you're like, okay, I don't care who they are and what credentials they've got. I'm not going to get involved with that person. And for some reason, we have stopped honoring that when we feel it. Don't you think?
Yeah. And that's the difference between a belief and a knowing. A belief is a human strategy, a human energy that we have been taught to believe in. and this is bad, that is good, this is red, that is black, this is white, and all of the variations of all of the judgment levels that we have, because everything from that plane is a judgment in one way or another, good, bad, or indifferent. It's still judging. When we move into being, we are now here present in every moment, in every second of our day, and we are allowing ourselves to be there present. And it's a completely different way of living your life. It actually takes the shackles of being human off of you and allows you to be this spiritual being in a human body, having a human experience that you are.
Yeah, yeah. And so we have covered a ton of stuff here, Donna. As always, we are just all over the map on this one. What is the one thing, if you had to pick out of all the things we've talked about, what do you think is the one thing you would like people who are listening to this to remember when they go on about their day?
The most important thing is two. Number one, when you say I am, I is the name of God. Am is how you action through God, whatever God, source, creator, energy, the big ball in the sky. I don't care what you call it. Something that is outside of you in a higher power. When you say I am, your I is intention, A is aware and action, and M is manifest, miracles or maniacs. You know, it's all up to you, and it's from your words. Your words are the most powerful tool that you have, whether they're spoken or just thought. So when you say the words I am, check stop. What am I going to say after this? If you're going to say something because you're feeling negative and you're feeling upset, or you have big feelings that are not worthy of, your soul, then check stop and change that I am from an absolute to a feeling. And the way you do that is to just express any feeling that's negative as a feeling. I am feeling concerned. I am feeling distraught. I am feeling angry. I'm feeling whatever that is. That gives your God squad room to come in and maneuver and help you. When you say I am and it's negative and you don't express it as a feeling, that's an absolute. You are now going to get more experiences of more of the negativity that you are declaring yourself to be, until you decide, I'm sick and tired of this, and I'm going to do better. I feel that I can change this.
I like that idea. I'm going to start really focusing in on that. Donna, if people want to find out more about what you do or want to reach out to work with you, what is the best way to get in touch with you?
My website, www.donnafairhurst.com, DonnaFairhurst. You'll get all of my contact information. You'll get a free, clear, and manifesting prayer. You'll get an opportunity to work with me on a one-on-one exploration call. And there's lots of great stuff. You will be on there. When you send me this, you will be on my website forever and ever. Amen.
Yay.
And yay. Yeah. So anything you need to know about me, on what I do, and whether you want to work with me is on there.
Okay, wonderful. So head on over to Donna's website. All that information will be in the chat. And Donna, once again, thank you so much for being here today.
My great pleasure and joy. Thank you.